We got the Rams and Vikings coming up in just a second, but I'd just like to mention, I just completed a marvelous arena football campaign, 139 stars of profit. Now I look to continue the winning with the NFL and, of course, the college ranks. And I tell you, folks, over the last 4 seasons, prime-time customers, big smiles on their face, get a load of this, 799 stars of profit in college football the last 4 seasons. Add in another 267 stars in the NFL. Now, you give me a call right now, I'll set you up literally in minutes for the entire preseason this year. And then, of course, that naturally includes my preseason game of the year. It's all for just $19. That's over a full month of winning football action for less than $5 a week. Give me a call, 1-800-531-7069. The entire preseason, including my game of the year, all for $19. 1-800-531-7069. And now to our first game, Scott, a pretty good one, interesting one. And these are 2 teams that kind of surprised me in the offseason. The Minnesota Vikings, obviously a team with some strengths defensively, the offensive line, but some weaknesses too. They don't have any experience at quarterback. Matter of fact, they let their one guy go that had experience, and they're going to go with Tavares. Is that his name? Tavares Jackson. This kid has a lot of talent, very spectacularly physical football player, but I tell you what, he's got 2 professional starts in his career. So this is a big gamble for Minnesota. And, of course, they didn't upgrade their wide receiver units. I tell you what, it might be the weakest, I was going to say in the NFC, it might be one of the weakest in the entire NFL. But they do have strength. As I said, they've got a very, very good defense. And offensively, they've got a terrific line. And let's face it, they made a statement in the draft. They said, we're going to run and run and run and run some more. Maybe pass once in a while. With that quarterback and those wide receivers, I can understand this. But they've got a great offensive line, maybe the best left side in the NFL with Hutchinson and McKinney. Should be even better this year, too, because, of course, Hutchinson came over from Seattle as a free agent last year. Now he's had a year to play with these guys. I think they'll be even better. They can really bully people. They're very big, very athletic. And, of course, they've got a fine running back, Chester Taylor, 1,200 yards last year, kind of a secret. I mean, most people you mention to Chester Taylor, they don't even know who he is, but he had a very good year. And that kind of surprised me because rather than upgrading one of the other areas like wide receiver, the 7th pick in the draft, they go for Adrian Peterson. Now, believe me, I can understand that. I mean, the kid looks spectacular out of Oklahoma. But again, after you already have Taylor, what they're doing is just upgrading a position that was already very, very strong. So it's obvious what Minnesota's game plan is. And if it doesn't backfire, it could turn out pretty well because they can dominate people on the ground. On the other hand, St. Louis also surprised me. I thought that in the draft or free agent-wise, they'd go out and get some big players on defense, but they really didn't go out and get anyone of any significance. And that's been a problem for them the last couple seasons. Last year, boy, team just ran and ran on them, especially weak right in the middle in the interior. Matter of fact, this year, they have 3 guys that are looking to win the starting job at nose guard. All 3 of them are rookies. And another problem for them in this particular game, they've got some cluster injuries right now at linebacker. A lot of people out there, so I see them real soft. Now, obviously, this could change once you get the 3rd and 4th stringers in, but at least initially in the game, I think Minnesota, in a spot like this at home, I think they can run the ball and be pretty successful, even though I'm not thrilled with that quarterback situation for them. So I would look at Minnesota in this game, I think.
It's a long season, I think, ahead for Minnesota Viking fans who have something like 91 consecutive sellouts, and they might get a little bored of this team by the end of the year because it is going to be student body left, student body right for most of the season, and a few scrambles by Jackson thrown in. Who's his backup? Brooks Bollinger.
Brooks Bollinger. I mean, not exactly a star in college either.
Oh, yeah. And
although, well, let me have one thing. At least he'll feel comfortable, won't he? Because playing at Wisconsin, the one thing he had, a great offensive line and real good running backs.
But the problem is like last week in their major scrimmage, their final real major scrimmage before preseason gets going, Childress actually asked to run another quarter because his first team was making so many goofy penalties, false starts, offsides on defense, false starts on offense, guys going in motion when they weren't supposed to. I mean, it was a mess. I got to stay away from this game. You've basically wrapped it up in a nutshell, but I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I do believe that if Minnesota's got their those mistakes of false starts and things like that out of the way, then they're going to be able to move the ball with this first-team offense by running the football at the St. Louis Rams. We also got to see if Jackson's going to get more reps under center in the starters, because this guy obviously needs to get his timing down with the rest of his team before the regular season starts, because he is their starting quarterback. So we might see a few more reps from him in this first game than we would under normal circumstances. And then you've got Minnesota, whose defense is really roughed up right now in the linebacker position. In fact, they've lost their Sam linebacker, so to speak, in Lieber, and Dontarius Thomas, who plays backup to just about everybody at linebacker, is going to be able to take over that starting role now. So, and of course with St. Louis with that offense, I mean, you don't expect to see Bolger or even probably Farrat very much in this contest. So I think it's a great game to pass. However, I do have a very strong opinion. In fact, my money's on the next game we're going to talk about. That is the Jaguars-Dolphins matchup, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But first, we're going to head out to the rough streets of Tahoe and our favorite guy from Tahoe, Bob Donahue.
The preseason kicks off this weekend, and I want everyone to start the season 2-0 with my Advantage Play Parlay winner in the Arizona-Oakland contest. Call my office at 1-800-424-1065, and you will receive both the side and total in this contest. 2 big personal Advantage Play winners for free. Do not miss out on starting your season off a winner. Make the call to 1-800-424-1065.
Coming up, Saturday's game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. But first, we'll hear from Smash Mouth handicapper Scott Spreitzer, who is coming off an incredible summer campaign in both MLB and Canadian football and looks for the momentum to keep on building.